Hey, what is happening, guys? This is the Lightning J coming at you just an hour or somewhat time of recording before Remind actually releases here in South Africa. Wait, no, 15 minutes actually. Why did I say an hour? Anyway, before I actually play the game, there was an interview that actually came out with Tetsuya Nomura answering 13 questions. Amazing stuff in this interview. Also teasing a game that's coming surprisingly soon. New teams within the Kingdom Hearts franchise, new project team management over there, all that great stuff. So let's just dive straight into it. So like Tai Yasue, Tetsuya Nomura did a questionnaire on Twitter. Instead of answering the 7 questions of light, he answered the 13 questions of darkness. And this is from KH Insider. Huge shout out to you guys. And yeah, it's basically the same thing that happened in yesterday's video, but it's 13 questions, but it goes in such detail that it's just amazing. And I feel Tetsuya Nomura spilled quite a lot of stuff over here, especially the tease of surprisingly new game coming out very soon, which most likely will be this year, because we will not be expecting a Kingdom Hearts 3 game, a Kingdom Hearts game to release 1 year after KH3. Anyway, this Q&A contains spoilers for KH3, so if you didn't check it out, if you didn't finish the game, click off this video now. Anyway, here it goes. How does Remind differ from the final mixes released from previous titles? We release final mixes to adjust the balance of and add in things to the entire game. Remind is independent content you can enjoy after beating the main game. That said, we did also add English voices to the Japanese version, limit cut bosses and other things you'll find familiar from final mixes. So other than the fact that the main game hasn't been changed much, you can basically think of this as an equivalent of a final mix. We have said that a lot, Mr. Tetsuya Nomura. Then he said this: how did you decide what to put in the free update and what to put in Remind, which is the paid update? KH3 and Remind are to be thought of as separate content. It is split up like this. The version update is basically for what you bought as KH3, and the Remind is for new features outside the main game. But as I just said, the English voices and other features that would previously have been included in a separate package as a final mix could have been included within Remind. But then I also included some new content that would usually have been in a final mix, like keyblades and new abilities in the free update, with the aim of giving you something for after finishing the game. Question 3: so there won't be a KH3 final mix? What about a physical release of this? And then he said this: there are no concrete plans right now. We might think about that sometime when the new console releases. Of course you are, Mr. Nomura. Release the Kingdom Hearts 3.58 over 2 0.2 Birth by Sleep final chapter prologue dream drop distance. Why don't you? But I'm not thinking about whether that something will be a final mix. Most likely it's just going to be a combination of all the Kingdom Hearts games, basically the all-in-one package, but on the PS5. That's most likely going to be the case, and it'll include Remind, maybe a little bit of updates here and there. We'll see what happens. But here we go to question 4. When is the new story in Remind set, and what can you expect to see? Then he said chronologically it jumps around a bit, but most of your time is sort of in between the end of the last battle and the final cutscene, depicting the blank spots of Kairi's rescue. As a player, you view the story from a higher vantage point than Sora, and in Remind, Sora is following the story from a different vantage point of the main game. It's hard to explain, but KH3 concludes with itself, and its ending connects to the ending of Remind. Question 5: does it influence or rework anything in the main KH games? The story of Kingdom Hearts 3 itself hasn't changed. You play it after finishing KH3, so it doesn't influence anything. But we did update a few places in version 1.07. Things we gave up on at the time due to various circumstances that we wanted to do justice to the original version. To give concrete examples, it's stuff like damage taken expressions in cutscenes, and that way the sky looks in the background. And then the Final Fantasy question: why didn't any Final Fantasy characters appear in the main game this time? Why did you add them back in? The story development for KH3 didn't provide a reason to stop by Radiant Garden, plus work-related issues. They appear within Remind because story development makes them needed, and because of the passionate wishes of you fans. So even though they didn't have a big role, they now have a sense of presence within the world of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now actually within Kingdom Hearts 3, within the Olympus world, when you start off, oh boy, there were statues of Cloud Strife and of Auron, and I don't know if Zack was there, but I know those two were there. Then we continue with question 7. What are the highlights of Limit Cut bosses? Or who do you want to pay attention to in particular? And he said, we had decided to use New Organization 13 for the Limit Cut bosses, but as the project proceeded, we began to feel conflicted over whether or not to leave Shion in there. Development was already underway when I went into discussion with Yasue, like maybe we really should cut her. Knowing this, I hope you feel just a conflict as you fight her. She's super strong. That's a good thing. I want to fight her. Question 8. Early on you said you wanted to add an equivalent of one world. Did that change? And he said, actually we did start designing and planning a new world, but the reasoning why just this world would be added in after being separate didn't sit well with me. In the end, I decided that it would be better to work in properly from the start of the next time there is a chance. All the new content added within Remind put together makes more than one world worth of content. In particular, it was a lot of work making this many bosses. Number 9. What can you say about the secret boss and episode? The secrets contain my thoughts about the future of the series, but with the information out at present, I do think you'll be able to guess any of it. Some parts of the battle end up very difficult from what I requested, but it surprised me in a good way, so take it as it is. So it could be a hard boss fight. Question 10. Why did lines from KH1 appear in the final trailer? And then Nomura said, those were lines I'd long wanted to put together if I ever got the chance. You may not understand, but the inclusion of those lines is what got the world of Kingdom Hearts approved. This is no mystery to solve this time. They stand at the doorway. Now of course KH3 had some, Remind had KH1 lines in the most recent trailer. Then question 11. Are there any plans for future updates or DLC? And Tetsuya Nomura said there are no plans for a hypothetical update as of right now, but if issues come up, we will deal with it. Remind is to be the first and only DLC. We are already working on the next title. The title screen of Remind serves as a piece of foundation for it. And then question 12. Will you tell us more about any plans for the future KH projects? Now this is where it gets interesting, lads. We still need some time with regards to the mainline KH games, but first up is the KH Union Cross team. We'll have a surprise announcement tomorrow. Aside from KH3 and Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, we actually have 2 new teams in operation, and from them one title will be coming surprisingly soon, which is most likely this year or next year, because I would be surprised if that happened, but I'm hoping. Then question 13, the final one. Finally, a message for the fans. And he said, we had an organizational change after the finishing KH3, and I'm very sorry this took so much longer than expected. The element added within Remind are ideas we came up with that we thought you would enjoy. My attention always ends up turning to the plot no matter what, but mostly of our development time was spent working on new battle and gameplay elements. I hope you enjoy the merciless battles only possible via DLC. Also, we have unlocked nearly the entire game for sharing via KH3 share function. Yasue said he really wanted to see everyone trying these secret battles, so we unlocked as much as possible. please first try beating their formidable opponents in just a few more hours at midnight on the 23rd of Jan. JST Remind will be playable. Thank you very much for all your support. From Tetsuya Nomura. Now, honestly, amazing interview, and I feel Tetsuya Nomura is genuine. He wants us to enjoy this. He has a lot of stuff, and that surprisingly new thing that's coming out very soon. I'm really excited about that. I don't know what it is. I think it's Kingdom Hearts Verum Rex. Who knows what it is at this point. I'm just excited. Let me know in the comment section down below, what game do you think is going to come out? Do you think it's going to... I know it's going to be a side title, but it's going to be... it'll be connected to the next Kingdom Hearts game, but it's going to be a side, because Tetsuya Nomura said there'll be at least one project that will happen before KH4. So yeah, but let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Share with friends, because sharing is caring. Leave a like, helps me out a lot. Comment down in the comment section down below what you guys think, and most importantly, subscribe to become a fellow lightning bolt. Anyway guys, that is it for this video, and as always, this is the Lightning H8. Blaze out.